On February 26, Gancheng Wang, a current affairs commentator on X, exposed in a tweet that Chen Min'er, the secretary of the Tianjin Municipal Committee, personally revealed the financial woes of Tianjin, admitting to a staggering debt ratio of 500% and acknowledging the city's bankruptcy situation. Chen Min'er, a member of the CCP's Politburo, assumed his role as Tianjin's Municipal Committee secretary at the end of 2022 and immediately implemented three major policies. 1. Halting the issuance of supplemental savings funds to civil servants, a unique benefit in Tianjin compared to the national average, even exceeding the income of employees and general enterprises. 2. Significantly reducing civil servants' performance bonuses. And 3. Downsizing the civil servant workforce to cut fiscal expenditures. Chen had previously adopted similar measures in Chongqing. Individuals either accepted the situation or led to mass resignations. Chen targeted civil servant salaries as his first order of business upon taking office. What might have been old news has regained attention on the eve of the CCP's two sessions. Numerous netizens have commented that despite the special status of being a directly governed city, Tianjin's GDP had already fallen out of the national top 10 in 2020, signaling the city's decline and prompting discussions about revoking its direct governance status. One netizen criticized Tianjin as the worst city in China, inferior to even average second-tier cities and lagging behind Chengdu in tourism, agriculture, and the internet sector. Wu Ming lamented that Tianjin is stuck in the Cultural Revolution era, overly focused on politics rather than the economy and reliant on civil servant positions and financial aid from the central government. Someone else commented that the costs associated with the civil service system are like a cancer to the nation, draining its resources and leading towards death, a problem he noticed over a decade ago. Another comment pointed out that it's not just Tianjin, but 80% of cities nationwide are likely facing bankruptcy. Since last year, there have been frequent reports of Tianjin's financial distress. In February 2023, former media worker Zhao Lanjian revealed on social media that internal messages were circulating about the bankruptcy of Tianjin, one of China's 4 directly governed cities, with a debt ratio of 500%, making it the first to enter a state of shared misery. Since 2022, schools, public institutions, and some civil servants in Tianjin have faced unpaid or reduced salaries, with the situation escalating to widespread unpaid wages in 2023. The internet has been abuzz with news of Tianjin's inability to pay salaries, especially following a prolonged unpaid wages issue among Tianjin's bus drivers. The Tianjin Public Transport Group, founded in 1904 and China's first city public transport company, has a 120-year history and was restructured in 2002 into the Tianjin Public Transport Group Holding Limited Company, a state-owned enterprise fully funded by the Tianjin Municipal Government's State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission. With a market share of over 90% in Tianjin's public transport and operating 6,412 vehicles with 18,200 employees, including 11,600 drivers, it was considered a stable job. Since March 2023, reports of unpaid wages by Tianjin Public Transport began surfacing on the government feedback platforms. On the Tianjin Municipal Government Public Interaction section, a post dated March 14th last year mentioned, Tianjin Public Transport is supposed to pay salaries on the 25th of each month, but now it's delayed until the 15th of the following month. On June 5th and August 23rd of the same year, further feedback indicated that Tianjin Public Transport was delaying employee wages and not contributing to the housing savings fund, making it difficult for employees to manage the mortgages. In September 2023, a person claiming to be a Tianjin bus driver posted on social media that the Tianjin Public Transport Group had not issued salaries since June and had also stopped employee insurance. On September 13th, Interface News reported a Tianjin bus driver's family member confirming, "We haven't received wages since June. Healthcare contributions have stopped. and Social Security contributions for August 2022 were also not made. Bus drivers enduring long hours and monotonous work without pay face severe financial difficulties, relying on parental support to survive. Netizens claiming to be drivers stated that from New Year's Day 2023, overtime pay, heat stroke prevention fees, and pension insurance had been several months overdue, and healthcare insurance had also been halted. According to Dawon News, a Tianjin public transport customer service representative mentioned that it was not just the bus drivers, but other employees, including customer service reps, who experienced delayed wages. The representative, who had been working for the company for 10 years, noted that wage delays had become frequent over the past 2 years. Data shows that from 2020 to 2022, Tianjin Public Transport received a total of 2.3 billion yuan, 3.25 billion yuan, and 3.29 billion yuan in financial subsidies from city-level and district-level finances, respectively. In the first quarter of 2023, it received another 830 million yuan. Despite these subsidies, the debt ratio of Tianjin Public Transport has been increasing yearly, even reaching insolvency. From 2020 to 2022, its debt ratios were 91.1%, 95.3%, and 100.4% respectively, and by the first quarter of 2023, it had risen to 100.7%. In April 2023, a macroeconomic research report by Yuekai Securities highlighted that Tianjin's debt issues have frequently attracted market attention in recent years, mainly due to high debt ratios and unbalanced debt structures. In 2022, Tianjin's local government debt balance reached 864 billion yuan, with a debt ratio of 295%, the highest in the country. In September, a well-known Tianjin entrepreneur told Radio Free Asia that Tianjin's finances had already collapsed, with the government resorting to increased taxation, which overwhelmed businesses. The extortion by lower-level officials became more rampant, taking whatever they could. Furthermore, it was revealed that the Hebei district in Tianjin had borrowed money from the local Dabei Yuan temple to pay salaries, indicating not only the dire financial situation of Tianjin's Hebei district, but also the significant wealth accumulated by local temples. The irony of a communist local government advocating atheism, seeking financial aid from religious institutions, highlights the sad reality. On November 13th last year, independent China scholar Lao Man, known for his analysis of China's economic data, published an article addressing what was behind Tianjin's bankruptcy: the lack of pivotal benchmark industries. The departure of South Korea's Samsung in 2015 dealt a significant blow to Tianjin's economy. The development of the Tianjin Binhai New Area in 2010 resulted in one of China's most infamous ghost towns, becoming a negative exemplar for new urban area developments across all Chinese cities. Had Tianjin not narrowly seized the opportunity presented by the growing demand for delivery services post-2018 through the development of electric motorcycles and battery manufacturing, its manufacturing sector was on the verge of a complete wipeout. With its industrial economy struggling, Tianjin also failed to retain its population. From 2016 to 2022, Tianjin's population did not rise but instead plummeted from a peak of 14.4 million to 13.6 million. This decline in population, akin to the economic depression experienced by China's northeast, without industries or a populace, made it impossible to sustain investment levels. From January to September last year, Tianjin's fixed asset investment shrank by a staggering 20.8%, including a 12.6% contraction in infrastructure investment and a 48.5% reduction in real estate investment. Among all provincial-level administrative regions in China, Tianjin ranked last in investment contracts in 2023. It could be said that industries, the population, and capital have all abandoned Tianjin. On February 27th of this year, in response to discussions about Tianjin's bankruptcy revelation by Secretary Chen Min'er, independent commentator Cai Shen-kun published an article addressing the responsible party for Tianjin's current state. Former Tianjin head Li Hongzong, known for his notorious declaration that loyalty that is not absolute is absolutely not loyal, took the primary blame. Li Hongzong served as a secretary of the Tianjin Municipal Committee for 6 years, aggressively incurring debt in pursuit of achievements, leaving Tianjin with a massive debt black hole. Cai Shen-kun noted in the article that by the end of 2022, Tianjin's local government debt balance had reached 889 billion yuan. This figure does not include the debts of local financing platforms, which reached an interest-bearing debt balance of 1.7 trillion yuan in August 2023. The combined debts of Tianjin's municipal government and urban investment bonds exceeded 2.6 trillion yuan, while the general public budget revenue was only 200 billion yuan, indicating that new bonds issued by Tianjin Urban Investment were essentially used to pay off old debts. Prior to Li Hongzong, Zhang Gaoli, a former CCP Standing Committee member who is alleged to have sexually assaulted renowned Chinese tennis player Peng Shuai, also cannot escape blame for his tenure in Tianjin from 2007 to 2012. During his time, there were numerous unfinished building projects. Hong Kong media reported in January 2016 that in December 2015, the CCP Politburo decided to send a research team led by Huang Shuxian, Deputy Secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, to conduct an inspection and study in Tianjin. During the visit, Wang Qishan, then Secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, met with Tianjin senior officials and highlighted one of Tianjin's issues. It was bankrupt with debts amounting to 3.6 trillion yuan. Other reports stated that in February 2014, then Vice Premier Wang Yang mentioned at a State Council Ministry heads meeting that Tianjin had incurred debts of over 5 trillion yuan and was effectively bankrupt, suggesting it was too late for accountability and future generations of Tianjin would bear the burden of this immense debt. This illustrates that Tianjin's debt problem can be traced back to the responsibility of several officials over multiple terms, ultimately due to the overall corruption of the CCP's bureaucratic system and the complete failure of its administration. The recent revelations of Tianjin's bankruptcy have led some to speculate that Chen Min'er's decision to publicly acknowledge the dire situation upon taking office was motivated by a desire to avoid being blamed for Tianjin's financial woes. CCP local officials traditionally rotate across various provinces and cities. Chen Min'er served in Guizhou from 2012 to 2017, holding positions such as Deputy Party Secretary, Acting Governor, Party Secretary, and Chairman of the Standing Committee of the Provincial People's Congress. From 2017 to 2022, he served as the Party Secretary of Chongqing before moving to Tianjin. The substantial debts left by Chen in both Guizhou and Chongqing have also troubled his successors. If Chen's actions become a model for other CCP officials, it could trigger a chain reaction where everyone tries to dissociate themselves from inherited messes and avoid responsibility. We may witness more and more CCP local officials revealing their jurisdiction's bankruptcy, shocking and angering Xi Jinping as he finds no province or city with a sound financial situation. The question then arises, which province or city will be the next to admit bankruptcy? The CCP's long-standing strategy, a Tiegongji, referring to investments in railways, roads, and infrastructure, has traditionally been a reliable method for boosting employment and GDP, yielding immediate effects. However, the nation's transportation infrastructure has reached saturation, leading to an overcapacity that needs the Belt and Road Initiative to alleviate surplus capacity. For years, local officials in pursuit of achievements have incurred significant debt to build cities filled with skyscrapers and grandeur. Indeed, almost any city in China appears on the surface to match the standard of a developed country. Yet the harsh reality mentioned by the late Premier Li Keqiang, where 600 million people have a monthly income of less than 1,000 yuan, starkly contrasts with the image of China as the world's second largest economy. This suggests that the CCP's economic development is essentially a face-saving project. For example, China's high-speed rail construction is globally renowned, but the reality is that it operates at a loss. The China Railway Group's total revenue in 2022 was only 1.1 trillion yuan, with losses amounting to 69.6 billion yuan, nearly a 40% increase from 2021. The loss rate of China's high-speed rail is continuously rising, with the increase almost always in double digits. By the end of 2022, the total debt of China Railway Group had reached 6 trillion yuan. China's rapid economic development has amazed foreigners unaware of the actual details and instilled pride in Chinese people influenced by CCP propaganda. However, this development model, characterized by debt-driven and overextended finances, is neither sustainable nor has it genuinely improved the citizens' living standards. On one side, the impressive infrastructure might make many developed countries envious, but on the other, 600 million people struggle near the poverty line. Such economic development, built on a foundation of quicksand, is not worthy of admiration and pride. In recent years, China has frequently been shocked by financial and real estate companies experiencing defaults at the 100 billion to trillion yuan level. However, what remains less known is that the scale of local government debt in China dwarfs these corporate debts by hundreds or thousands of times. Goldman Sachs estimates that the cumulative debt of China's local governments amount to a staggering 94 trillion yuan, including the debts of local government financing platforms, which are off-balance sheet liabilities. Is there a solution to this astronomical local debt? Many insightful individuals, such as Lao Man, have pointed out that revitalizing the private economy from its roots and granting private enterprises the same status as state-owned ones are essential steps. Furthermore, granting citizens basic human rights and the power to participate in governance and supervise the government is crucial. However, these measures involve deep political reforms that are fundamentally impossible to implement. Without achieving these, discussing resolving the debt becomes moot, leaving the CCP's local debt issues ultimately unresolved. Lauman predicts by the end of 2024, the minefield of local debt will explode, marking a devastating end for all involved. Rumors suggest that the CCP's 2 sessions will see numerous officials being ousted, including Li Zaiyong, the former vice chairman of Guizhou Province's Political Consultative Conference, who was suddenly expelled at the end of last year. It was a former subordinate of Chen Min'er. The CCP's high echelons see intensified infighting for favor under Xi Jinping, with Chen Min'er representing the Zhejiang faction and Cai Qi, secretary of the Secretariat of the CCP, wielding immense power within the Fujian faction. Sensing the political danger, Chen Min'er might have sought to protect himself by quickly disassociating from the Tianjin's bankruptcy, making him the first to acknowledge a city's insolvency under his jurisdiction. Indeed, everyone, not just Chen Min'er, seems eager to rid themselves of this hot potato. Traditionally, the 2 sessions conclude with a press conference by the premier, broadcasted worldwide. However, starting this year, this practice has been cancelled, causing an uproar in domestic and international public opinion. At such events, premiers face economic and livelihood questions from Chinese and foreign journalists, showcasing governance ideas and the country's grandeur. The abolition of this practice signifies a backward step in Beijing's politics. The current premier, Li Cheng, would rather not engage in the pretense of boosting confidence with platitudes, understanding that less power and responsibility might ensure greater safety. Beijing's politics are entering a black hole. The CCP is wasting away, therefore any performance is deemed meaningless. Li Cheng neither dares nor wishes to act. As Chen Min'er first targeted Tianjin civil servant salaries, this approach has become a new normal across China. Economists have long believed that the CCP's high debt, calculated against the entire population, is now in a predicament. Since 2021, news of civil servant pay cuts, especially in economically developed coastal provinces like Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Guangdong, and Fujian, has been widespread. Civil servants across many coastal areas in the east have faced salary reductions, with various self-established incentive subsidies being cancelled, leading to a 20 to 30% decrease in civil servant wages. For instance, a deputy section chief in southern Jiangsu saw a salary cut of about 25%, resulting in a 100,000 yuan decrease in take-home pay. A basic level clerk in Ningbo, Zhejiang lost 40% of their income from bonuses, and Wuhan civil servants who used to receive a 50,000 yuan bonus have seen it disappear. Department-level officials in city agencies, who normally receive an end-of-the-year bonus of 40,000 to 50,000 yuan, saw it halted before this spring. Civil servant and public institution employees in Nanjing's Li Shui and Gaochun districts have faced salary delays of about 3 months, resolved only by forcibly relocating funds among districts through administrative orders, with subsequent funding yet to be secured. Hebei, enduring a continuous financial crisis, including cities like Chengdu and the provincial capital Shijiazhuang, has faced fiscal difficulties. Public servants and public institution employees in Xi Jinping's political starting point, Zhending County, experienced intermittent unpaid salaries for over a year. It raises the question of whether local officials secretly resent Xi Jinping for not remembering them from his past. The people have long been victimized by the CCP, and now it's the officials' turn to face the consequences of serving the CCP. Shenzhen, a first-tier city in China, known for attracting top university graduates to teaching positions with high salaries, also reported teacher salary cuts in March 2022. Numerous Shenzhen teachers posted online that their year-end performance bonuses would be reduced by 60%, with some experiencing direct salary reductions to 80,000 to 100,000 yuan. In June of the same year, videos of collective protests by teachers in Yantai, Shandong province spread online. These teachers reported not receiving bonuses for the past 2 years and being asked to return 50 to 100,000 yuan of income, a demand they found excessive. Mr. Chen, a teacher from Jiangsu, shared during a phone interview. There are high school teachers in Henan who haven't been paid for up to a year and a half. These teachers have also taken collective action to defend their rights. Nowadays, with the economic difficulties, salaries, benefits, and conditions across various departments have been reduced. If the income of civil servants decreases, without a decrease in workload, once civil servants start to lie flat and do the minimum, it could affect the efficiency of social management. The underlying issues in society might become even more significant. A doctor from Zhaotong City, Yunnan Province, has exposed that the local health commission issued a document stating that the Zhaotong City Mental Health Center had illegally and excessively distributed over 12 million yuan in incentive performance wages and more than 1.5 million yuan in night shift fees and transportation allowances from its staff during the 4 years from 2015 to 2019. The document demands that the doctors return over 10 million yuan in total or face no promotion. In mid-July 2023, rumors circulated on various Chinese social media platforms that the Guangdong provincial government had announced a 25% pay cut for civil servants. This information has not been officially confirmed, but it sparked widespread discussions. The hashtag Guangdong Civil Servants Pay Cut even appeared on Weibo, a popular social media platform. But clicking on the topic led to a notice stating that, according to relevant laws, regulations, and policies, the content of this topic is not displayed, with very few posts being accessible. The more it covered up, the more it suggests the possibility that the situation is true. The government departments previously reliant on land finance are no longer flourishing due to the downturn in the real estate industry. With a crackdown on private enterprises and the private economy, government tax revenues have been significantly affected. Now, many local governments can only hope to generate revenue through fines, imposing increasingly severe penalties on individual entrepreneurs and even electric motorcycle owners, among others. This is likely to only accelerate the explosion of social tensions that are already simmering like a pressure cooker. The bankruptcy of local municipalities leading to delayed wages, reduced salaries, and even the complete cessation of unpaid wages is becoming increasingly severe and widespread. When civil servants can no longer tolerate the situation, the CCP system of governance will face paralysis. Perhaps Chen Min'er's public acknowledgement of the Tianjin Municipal Government's bankruptcy is akin to announcing a countdown to the end of CCP rule.